Hi, this is Tara for the Real Talk series, where we speak with local business leaders across the state to learn more about how they're maneuvering during this time. And today we're here with Roy Yamaguchi, chef and founder of Roy's Restaurants and co-chair of Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. Hi, Roy. How are you?
I'm doing great, Tara. Thank you. Thanks for asking.
Well, thanks for being on with us. And I know some of us are familiar with your restaurants and have dined in them, but for those of us who aren't sure, can you share with us what restaurants you own here on the islands and how you've gotten involved in the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival?
Well, I'm the founder of Roy Yamaguchi Restaurants, so a group of restaurants. So Humble Market Kitchen over in Maui and Roy's and Kanapali. So it's the HMK Roy's operation in the eating house, and then going on Kailua.
Okay. And the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival that you co-chair, can you tell us just a little bit about that, please?
Well, about I don't know, about 11 years ago. Denise Hayashi, who's now Denise Yamaguchi, got married in between. we got together and started the festival with Alan Wong. Originally, the way it started was Alan Wong and myself. We used to host a event to benefit the Farm Bureau over at Roy's, the original Roy's. So it was a smaller event, about 300 people. So one day we discussed with Dino Kimoto and Denise that maybe, our event that we're doing for the Farm Bureau is getting small. And, there's probably not much room to grow, but, if you can do a statewide event and get more, individuals or sponsors to participate, this event could be pretty big. And that's how, with Denise's help, knowing the process of legislation and, fundraising. We kicked off this festival with the help of a lot of people like Warren Sean from, Southern Wine and Spirits, Glacier Wines. So here we are, 10 years later.
Yeah, that's a lot to pull off. I know I've been to them and they're fabulous. And as far as this whole, pandemic, how has it affected your restaurants and obviously the festival?
Well, the festival, Denise is pivoting to do, a lot of different things. So, she has more of the insights, and she's the founder and, CEO of the festival itself.
Right.
Our operations for restaurants, we have 10 restaurants on island. And basically, we did close temporarily 7 of them, after the mandate, and kept 3 open for takeout. And slowly, just this past weekend, we opened up another 3 for takeout, and we're going to continue with the takeout mode until we decide to open. Because you have to understand that we have restaurants in different areas, and some areas are really prone to travel and tourism rather than locals. Right. So of course those operations will not open when the mandate is lifted, and maybe open further down the line. But we're going to concentrate with the 3 that deals with locals, local residents, because we're in neighborhoods where we can attract more locals than tourists. So.
Well, that makes sense. And that was one of the questions I had for you is, how dependent on tourism are your restaurants, and have you modified your business plan in response to the lack of tourism and the uncertainty about when it will return?
Well, I mean, as everybody knows, travel tourism is one of the, one of the biggest industry in Hawaii. Employs a lot of individuals in all sectors that makes up and relates to the travel and tourism industry. So, a lot of our restaurants are heavily dependent on tourism. But we're also fortunate that we have restaurants that are in neighborhoods and communities where we've served in these communities, and for the past 30 years. So we've been fortunate to be able to get support from these from these individuals that live in these communities. So for instance, the original Hawaii Kai restaurant, the Roy's, has been here for 31 years. and we're part of the neighborhood. So naturally, we've been, for the past 31 years, been very, very close to the community, and so it's a lot easier for us to reopen in a neighborhood like this rather than somewhere where we're inside of a hotel, which really strongly depends on the travel tourism business.
Right. And shows how important it is to have a good local base for your restaurants.
Always, local super, definitely.
Yeah. And with so many layoffs in the restaurant industry, I'm sure this has been a very difficult time as a leader. Are there things that your company has tried to do to help restaurant workers during this time?
Well, I mean, we have, great individuals, that care in our company. And, especially Matt Dellup, who's over there at the Humble Market, or Jesse over at Roy's Conapoli, have been involved in, some group efforts, food bank, and, they've done some, frontline, as far as helping the frontline workers, with along with other chefs and other companies, and giving out food, and just spending time, doing their charitable work. So that's been great. Far as for our organization, yeah, I mean, we're always willing to help, and we have helped, and giving out food to the workers there, and then of course to the police department, and to the fire department, etc.
Okay.
And everybody's doing their part, and everybody's really, I'm very happy to see that everybody, not just us, but everybody, whether they have companies or whether they're independent, have really stepped up to help, and that's a great thing to see.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of different things come to fruition through this time of people maneuvering to try to help each other. And I believe I was sent something too with Hawaii Food and Wine Festival where they're doing something to help the restaurant workers as
right. So Denise, and our organization has put this so-called restaurant workers Kokua restaurant workers fund, where if you had worked in a restaurant previously, and you're a Hawaii resident, you can apply for this fund, which gives you a $250 gift card, and you can use this card to buy food from your local restaurants. So not only does it help someone who's out of a job, but basically helps also the business end of it. So it's a twofold, and that's pretty. And to me, it works on both sides.
Right. And where do people go to apply for that?
Well, it's it's unfortunately, it's, how can I say it? I guess after the first couple of hours that they announced, they had over 1,500 applicants.
Oh, wow.
And they have another, so much waiting to get back, to get on the waiting list itself. But but you can get all the information by going to hawaiifoodandwinefestival.com to get more information on how hopefully we can attract more people to support and give to the fund itself, so that we can continue to add more, hopefully, the people that are on the waiting list.
Okay. So there's definitely a need for people to help support that. And
oh yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a great cause. I mean, there's a lot of individuals out there that need help, and if we can help in any way, because there's a lot of restaurants on the mainland, or some restaurants on the mainland that have created funds independently for their workers. But this way, all the restaurants can unite together, and to hopefully get help from the from our community to help these restaurant workers that are in need.
Okay. And as far as we've heard the different plans of reopening for restaurants, of, social distancing and having to wear a mask. And can you please share what you know about the current plans for reopening?
Well, I mean, the mandate, has been lifted. So June 5th is definitely the day that, people are going to start opening their businesses. And, some of the things that you'll see differently, of course, is the wearing of the mask, the 6 feet distancing, no more than 10 to a table. The large parties are gone for now. In the future, maybe a different story. But
Okay.
for us, we're going to continue to make sure that the safety of our customers and the safety of our employees are always, the first thing in mind. And along with that, making sure that our guests are going to have a great experience by making their way to our restaurants. And I'm sure that most of the restaurants out there feel the same. We want to make sure that our consumers, we want to make sure that our customers that are coming to our restaurants or any other restaurant really feel confident that we are doing our best to make sure that we're here to protect not only our employees, but we're here to protect the customers that are walking into our establishments, and making sure that of course safety is first, but yet they'll be able to have a great experience.
Mm. Well, we look forward to that. As far as, you've obviously been successful in what you do. And do you have any advice for other restaurant owners who are just, in similar situations and are struggling to figure things out right now?
Well, I mean, I think the old way of doing business is gone. I think everybody has to be able to pivot and move forward in different directions. And my job was this job is no longer the key. It's my job is everybody's job, and everybody's job is everybody's job. Everybody has to pitch in and do it. And they have to be willing to make changes, and they have to be able to really embrace change in a big way. Because unless changes are not made, the status quo is not going to work. And we have to work, twice as hard to make sure that people, that we work with and we serve are continually, making sure that they're confident, they feel safe, and they are safe. And that's the way of doing business. Restaurants may have to have takeout as a big component in their business strategy moving forward than ever before. So, all of these different things have to be worked out, and, you really have to talk to your team to make sure that, hey, listen, the status quo is gone. This is a new way, let's embrace it, and let's work hard to make the change and make things work, because, there's a lot of individuals that are relying on restaurants to make these changes so that they can continue to be employed, and to make sure that their businesses are going to be sustainable, right, for the future. Because if they're
Right.
not, we all lose. And you have to understand that businesses are started by individuals that have had a dream, and this is these are people's dreams of opening businesses. And there's people that work there that rely on the establishments that are going to continue to blossom. So we want to make sure, especially myself, I want to make sure that not only do we do things right, but I want to see every one of my competitors succeed. I mean, it's a lot of hard work to open something. And this is when I have to stress that even if they're my competitors, they need to really have the vision and goal set. They need to really think about how they can make things work, and not rely on just people walking through your doors. You have to really think about different strategies to take so that they can be sustainable in the future. It's too big of a dream to lose in a short term. It's insane. So hopefully, everyone who's going to be watching your show is going to hopefully rethink some of these opening plans, and really think about not only the near future, but the future. I mean, there's different strategies people can take, but at the end of the day, safety and the well-being of your staff is extremely important in the guests. But at the same time, look for the future and have plans in place so that you can really maneuver through these crises. Because the crisis is not for restaurants, the crisis hasn't really started yet because when you open, you have another crisis, right?
Mm.
So the crisis before this is taking care of safety and all of that. But moving forward, it's the same crisis you've had, but you're laying another um, uh, uh, obstacle that you need to battle on. How can you maintain? How can you survive? And we need the help of not only our staff and the customers, but we need the landlords to work with us. We need the financial institutions to work with us, and everybody has to work together. It's
Right.
like a marriage. Everybody has to pull together to make this thing work. It's
Mm-hmm.
not my way, but it's everyone's way. How can we join forces? How can we get together and everybody work together to see the success? I mean, hey, listen, I want to pay 100% rent. Believe me, that's what I want to do. That's what I need to work towards. I can't just say that, we're in a crisis, I'm not going to pay rent. I mean, that's not going to work. You want to be, hey, listen, we're in a crisis. What can we all do so that we can all survive and be sustainable?
Yeah, after hearing all the different interviews we've done lately, I don't know how we can survive moving forward if we all don't work together. The banks, the credit unions, the landlords. I've heard some of the clients that we've worked with just devastating things coming in, and I like what you said about it's to not lose your dream. How quickly in this predicament, and
Yeah,
I hope that yeah.
it's crazy. I mean, when you really think about it, I mean, you work hard and you have a dream, you make it work, and all of a sudden, boom, and it's not because of your lack of talent, and that's the worst part of all of this is that if it's due to lack of talent, you can blame yourself, but
Right.
these individuals that have dreams and talent and they plan this thing forever and now they make the bold move to go out and try to make things work and all of a sudden you get slammed with this. It's heartbreaking. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's been completely heartbreaking. I feel like the restaurants, because I've worked with so many restaurant partners, particular. I mean, there's so many different industries hurting, activities too, but restaurants, I just really feel for them during this time.
Well, I mean, restaurants are always there at the forefront of what happens when, a charity needs to raise money. They're always asking for, a little, "Hey, can you give this or can you give a gift card or can you be of help?" And, in restaurant, the restaurants are first to always accept and acknowledge and say, "Hey, here, we'll help." And, being in the hospitality industry, our job, is to help. And our what we do best is to create memories for people.
Right.
That's what we do on a day-to-day basis. So, whenever, I see a restaurant closing or any type of business closing, to me, it's heartbreaking because, these are people's dreams of making things happen. And anyways, hopefully, we're all going to get through this and we're going to make the best of it.
And do you have concerns about people, wanting to come off of unemployment?
Well, hey, listen, at the end of the day, we want people to come back to work, and even though they may be making a lot of money, being unemployed. And listen, if that's the way, it happened and it was meant to be, right? If you get a windfall, hey, you get a windfall. I mean, I'm not going to knock anybody for not taking advantage of it, but when the time comes for us to, ask our employees to come back, hey, listen, at the end of the day, you know, we would like them to come back, of course, because that's we rely on our staff. But at the same time, you have to understand that with the new with the lack of business to start with, it may be hard for a lot of companies to bring back a full staff, or the amount of people that they had before the virus. So, it's a two-way street. It's
Right.
we need the help, but yet, we probably won't be able to invite everybody back for work.
Right. Well, thank you, Roy. Is there anything further that you want to share?
No, I'm just, I'm glad you're given the opportunity and this platform to be able to talk about this, and hopefully, uh, you know, all of your viewers and who own restaurants or in any businesses, or any of your viewers that are patrons or customers of retail or restaurants, that they'll go back and they'll work hard, number one, and number two, they'll go back and patronize these different establishments, because
Mm,
when their business is back open, that's when they really need, the community's help to make sure
mm,
that they can strive and, get back to business, and, again, be part of a, vital community.
right. Well, I can't wait to go back out to eat. So,
Well, get hungry and go.
yeah, I'm
Get your
ready.
appetite up.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Roy. I appreciate everything that you shared, that you're willing to come on here and just, share with everyone your experiences and give your advice. And we wish you all the best in your reopenings, and we look forward to dining back
Well,
with
I
you
appreciate that.
soon.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay. Aloha,
Okay.
Roy.
Bye.